The People's Choice is the 6th episode of the 4th season of the Doris Day Show. This is directed by Jerry London, and as always, there will be spoilers from now. As I talk about the episode, I'm not actually going to go into a tremendous amount of detail, but I may spoil a few things. And I had a feeling this would be quite fun because it focuses on Mr. Jarvis, who is such a delightful character. I'm so glad he's one of the characters who was kept on from the previous season. And Doris encourages him to stand for election against a councilman who she deems to be less than honest. And a lot of the episode focuses on the campaign for Mr. Jarvis, and it's quite fun. I really enjoyed that part of it. And of course, the big question is, will Mr. Jarvis win? Will he get enough votes? And I won't spoil that part of the episode, but I feel like right up until the end, it's quite unpredictable. It goes back and forth quite a lot with how successful he's being and how people are receiving him. And then there's a photo of him and Doris, which I have to say is an absolute delight. It's very entertaining. And that definitely changed the directions of things. And I really enjoyed Mr. Jarvis as a character in this. I thought that the story worked really well. It flowed really well. The pacing was really good. And ultimately, I had fun with it. That being said, it's not one of my favourite episodes. There wasn't really anything in it that I found to be funny. And quite often there are things here and there with the Doris Day Show that are quite amusing, quotes that I might want to share and things. But with this one, that's not so much the case. But as a Mr. Jarvis episode, in fact, having said that, if I were to rank all of the Mr. Jarvis episodes so far, this one would probably come last. But I did really enjoy his character. So I guess the best way of saying this is, had it been somebody else, had it been some random person we'd never met before, and Doris was encouraging them to run against the councilman, it probably wouldn't have been that great. It definitely relies heavily on the character of Mr. Jarvis and the wonderful performance there. He is, of course, played by Billy DeWolfe, and that I really enjoyed. So the narrative works, but it's maybe not the most interesting. Maybe if we'd seen a bit more of the campaigning and we'd spent a bit more time with that and maybe got to the point a little bit more quickly, it could have been better. But as a Mr. Jarvis fan, I certainly enjoyed the character and what he brought to it. So not a personal favourite, but The People's Choice is definitely not too bad. I'm still not completely loving season 4. It's not as bad as I'd feared, based on the last episode of the previous season, which was absolutely horrendous. I thought that's kind of the direction we were going down, and thankfully that's not been the case. But I feel like it still feels different. The quality does seem to have dropped a bit. So I will go into every episode with an open mind. There have been some good bits of season 4 so far, and there have been some bits that are maybe not as great, and The People's Choice is one where I'm kind of on the fence with how I feel about it. Definitely some good moments, but mostly driven by the character of Mr. Jarvis. But to sum up, it's not perfect, but it's an okay episode.